Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a powerful conversation that exposes the harsh realities of racism and misogyny in America, a continent where Black women's achievements are consistently erased, marginalized and claimed by others, where the very notion of Black womanhood is deemed un-American and their accomplishments are attributed to anyone by themselves. Now in this video, a lady explains or responds to a comment by a South African woman who shares an eye-opening comment of discovering the stark contrast between how America treats its Black women versus how other countries celebrate their own. From Beyonce to Meghan Markle, Serena Williams and more, she highlights the glaring disparity in how their achievements are perceived and credited. So get ready for a thought-provoking discussion that sheds light on the destructive forces of racism and misogyny in America and how they perpetuate the erasure of Black women's contributions. With that said, check out her video. I will be right back.
America is so deeply rooted in racism and particularly misogynoir that even if you are from America, being a Black woman does not make you an American. And America does not want to claim you as one of their own. The only people that they want to claim as one of their own are white. This is especially and very particularly clear in cases of Beyonce, of course, Meghan Markle, Serena Williams, in the case of Simone Biles, because America does not consider Black people or people of color Americans. When I came to America, the most interesting thing for me to realize was like, oh, so like white people get all the credit for the stuff that people of color actually introduce into the culture. I just thought this was like a system that y'all employed. Like I thought it was like, oh yeah, we all look to the people of color to set the trend and then we all copy it. Like that's obvious. And it wasn't. I was just autistic, it turns out, the whole time. So it wasn't obvious to everybody else. But back in my country and like other countries in Europe, like I know this for a fact, like you were saying, like they defend women from their country just for being from that country, right? It's like, no, she's ours. Like you don't get to say shit about her. But again, because there is this distinction in America of like, you're not really American unless you're white. And they don't get claimed. And it is so obvious because like, again, in any other country, had a woman reached the fame and status levels and the accomplishments that any of these women that I named off have reached, like Beyonce, who's from Houston, Texas, like the most all-American thing that you can imagine, like she is it. And America doesn't claim her. In fact, a lot of people will tell you to your face without even being prompted that they don't like Beyonce. Never encountered that in other countries. Like I've never really dealt with that because it's super weird because she's clearly very accomplished. You don't have to like her, but a lot of people will even go as far as to say that she's overrated. Based on what? Who else is doing any of the things that she's doing? She's overrated compared to whom? She's literally alone in her category and people say she's overrated compared to whom? Who is underrated compared to her? No one. The things that she's been able to do are literally unthinkable for most other artists. She's the celebrity of other celebrities. There was a line to come say hi to her at the Grammys, and she didn't win Album of the Year. Taylor Swift did. It's weird, guys. It's weird. In any other country, like Simone Biles would be in every commercial, but I don't see her getting those kinds of brand deals. With Meghan Markle, like with all of these women, it's like, America, take the fucking W, but they're too racist to take the W. To even like celebrate the fact that a fucking American married into the British monarchy. Like that's high level infiltration. And Americans are like, I don't know, I don't care. Like, no, you're fucking crazy. Like any other country would be up in Britain's face, like celebrating, being like, how's it fucking feel? Like Serena Williams was not allowed to wear a life-saving cat suit to play tennis. A game that she arguably like owns at this point. Like owns. She has more championship titles or whatever than any man, any white woman, and yet America is just like, yeah, I mean that's Serena Williams. Like not like no fanfare, no big deal. Simone Biles, the most decorated Olympian of all time. And America just won't take the W and put her in every commercial and have her be the spokeswoman for everything. Like it didn't make sense to me until I really understood racism. And it's because America has a problem with being represented by Black people. Whether that's due to like guilt, shame, racism, or anything else, it's wrong. It's wrong. That's why it happens. Like if you're wondering like why maybe some Black women also don't come together and like defend these women, is because there is reward in your proximity to whiteness in America. So the closer that you are to white people's opinions, the more as a person of color that you are rewarded and doors are open for you, until they are inevitably slammed in your face because you have gone too far. But it's a way to sort of function in this giant fucked up mess of a society because you need to put food on the table. So you adopt the opinions and mannerisms even of your oppressor because it makes it easier to function. It makes it easier to not have to always be on defense against other people who are like you. The offense is always there. You just don't realize it unless you're one of those people. And then you realize how much easier it would be if you were just on the other side of things. And that's really fucked up, but it happens. And so a lot of Black women, when they turn on other Black women, it's because there is reward in that for them. There is. America rewards your proximity to whiteness. But at the end of the day, even if you are like white passing or whatever, there's still a ceiling that you're going to hit where people are not going to come to your defense just because you're from America. Even if you are in any other way, like an American household staple, like everybody knows and probably even loves at least one Beyonce song. I'm telling you, in any other country, you are a distinguished part and representation of that country, and people will defend you just because you are from that country, as this commenter is saying, which they're spot on. But not in America. Not in America. In America, if you're a Black woman, you cannot be used as a representation of America. That's because they don't want everybody else to know how much they've stolen from Black women and how much of this country really is the work, the literal work, sweat, blood, and tears of Black people and people of color in general. If they were to actually start uplifting and supporting and claiming Black American women, if they were to start doing that, the standard of excellence would be set way too high for another white man to ever reach it again. So it's kind of like by downplaying and not recognizing any of Black women's accomplishments, almost like we're ignoring that the bar is actually up here and we're clapping for people who can get up here. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's Ryan Gosling, Joe Biden, look at him being interviewed for 20 minutes straight. Like, the bar can be so low if you don't recognize the achievements and the exceptionalism of Black women. So it helps the whole country to keep the bar low, because otherwise there is no competition. That's what I mean. Like, when people say Beyonce is overrated, who is she competing with? No one. No one. When people say people like Serena Williams or Simone Biles are overrated, they are literally, these women are in categories of their own. There are none others like them. And people still say that they're overrated because that helps keep the bar low for white men and white women to excel. Meanwhile, Black people and people of color have been up here for years just being ignored and not recognized for these achievements so that everybody can gather around and clap for mediocre white men. That's what really this country was founded on. It was a bunch of white men who didn't want to be told what to do anymore, and they wanted to be, you know, recognized for their accomplishments. They wanted to be independent. They didn't want to be part of anything. So they made a country just for themselves. And it shows. It shows. Everything in this country is a wheelchair ramp for white men. And again, it shows. They are the least stable, most easily threatened, most fearful, most insecure demographic in this country, followed very closely by white women. Because wheelchair ramps only make you weaker, not stronger. And ignoring other people's accomplishments doesn't make you better at anything. It makes you lazy and spiteful. That's America for you. That's what it was built and founded upon. Laziness and spitefulness. Those are the results. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think.
Now, the insightful words by the speaker resonate deeply as she exposes the stark contrast between America's treatment of Black women and how other countries celebrate their own. It's a stark reminder of the entrenched archaism and misogyny that perpetuates the erasure of Black women's achievements in America. The examples she cites, Beyonce, Meghan Markle, Serena Williams, are testaments to the excellence and accomplishment that Black women can achieve, despite the odds against them. Yet, instead of being celebrated and claimed as American successes, they are marginalized, criticized, and erased. Now, this destructive dynamic is a symptom of a deeper disease, a society that refuses to acknowledge the value and humanity of Black women. It's a society that perpetuates palm-coloredness as the standard and Blackness as the other. A society that denies the very Americanness of Black women while claiming their achievements as its own. Now, this disturbing trend that does not get enough attention is the continued practice of taking work, ideas, and creative genius from Black women without properly crediting or citing them as the source. Now, this is not a new practice, but with the advent of the internet, these pernicious acts are even easier to spot. Any inspiring anti-artist must understand the insidious ways that this pattern is able to continue and recognize how to intervene when it does occur. Now, this takes us all the way back to the 19th and 20th century, which shows that this is not a new trend. Black women like Harriet Purvis and Maria W. Stewart, played a pivotal role in the women's suffrage movement. Now, despite this fact, their contributions were largely ignored and overlooked, with black women having to march separately from their palm-color counterparts. At suffrage parades, black women have been behind some of the world's most pivotal social justice movements, like Black Lives Matter, yet there is a repeated pattern of leaving their contributions out. Now, there are several examples that are important to note. Before Rosa Parks' 15-year-old Claudette Colvin refused to give up her bus seat. Although Colvin is now being credited as the first to really challenge the law, her story is not often talked about or taught in history classes. In 1969, the Stonewall riots took place and sparked the LGBTQ liberation movement. At the helm of the riots was Marsha P. Johnson, a black transgender activist who is credited for starting the Stonewall riots, but it wasn't until after Johnson's unaliving that her story and contributions became more widely known. In 2017, actress Alyssa Milano encouraged those who had experienced abuse to write Me Too on Twitter. Now, Milano's tweet caused an influx of stories from users about their experiences. Milano tweeted the #MeToo hashtag with citing Tarana Burke, the black woman who created the Me Too campaign. On social media, many users felt that Burke was being erased from her own movement. Now, black women are no strangers to the co-opting of their creative genius. A few recent examples. In 2016, Melania Trump made headlines after many noticed similarities between her speech and one given previously by former First Lady Michelle Obama. Now, in July of 2021, the Confederate statue of Robert E. Lee was removed from Charlottesville, Virginia. 20-year-old student activist Zayana Bryant started the petition that led to the statue's removal when she was just 15 years old. In an OPD written for Teen Vogue, Brian shared, "I have read book after book and watched countless documentaries about the political implications of the fall of these monuments. Too many of them never mentioned the names of the black women who were essential in making it all happen. It is morally bankrupt and intellectually dishonest to tell a story that leaves black women like myself out of the narrative." Brian's fears highlight a disturbing trend that has manifested in different ways. Now, social media is a newer arena where black women are seeing their work and words appropriated. Critical race scholar Dr. Angel Jones posted about this on her Instagram page. In an Instagram Live, Dr. Jones shared that an Instagram page had been reposting her work without properly crediting or tagging her as the source. Now, when it comes to celebrities like Beyonce, Meghan Markle, and Serena Williams, their contributions as black women are consistently erased and attributed to their palm-color counterparts. It's a painful reminder that even if you're born and raised in America, being a black woman doesn't make you an American in the eyes of society. America only claims palm-coloredness as its own, refusing to acknowledge the achievements of black women as part of its narrative. It is a deliberate attempt to erase black history, black culture, and contributions. Black people are told that they are not truly American, that they are somehow less deserving of recognition and praise. But we know the truth. We know that black labor, creativity, and resilience have built this country from the ground up. We know that black music, our art, and our literature are the backbone of American culture. And we know that the struggles and triumphs and the legacies are what make America great. Now, I want to keep the conversation going, so if you've experienced similar erasure or realization, share your story in the comments below. Let's create a space where we can uplift and support each other. Have you ever felt like your contributions were ignored or attributed to someone else? Have you realized that your identity was erased or marginalized? Share your experiences, big or small, and let's learn from each other. Let's break the silence and amplify our voices. Together, we can create a wave of understanding and change. So share your thoughts, share your stories, and let's keep the conversation going. And to those who may not have experienced this firsthand, you are also welcome to support and allyship. Ask questions, listen, and learn. Together, we can build a community that celebrates and includes everyone. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do my viewers have to say? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video.